Good afternoon, everyone. Today is Tuesday, February 11th of 2025. My name is Melissa Andre, and I'm the Executive Director of the Philadelphia Tax Review Board, and I'm convening a session of the Philadelphia Tax Review Board. Today's category is Water Revenue Bureau. With me today is our board chair, Paula Weiss, as well as board members John O'Connor, Nancy Cameradiner, Ryan Boyer, and George Matthews. Please be aware that this is a public hearing and it is recorded. Because the meeting is public, participants and viewers have no expectation of privacy. And by continuing to be in the meeting, you are consenting to being recorded. This recording will be posted to the Tax Review Board's website. Paula, please take it away.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. The Tax Review Board for February 11th, 2025 is now in session. Before we get into the hearings for petitioners who are present, we have one administrative matter to take up, and that is regarding what is listed as case number 1 on our docket for 811 Passmore Street. Last 4 digits of the docket are 9233. My understanding that the petitioner has requested a continuance. Ms. Andre, that is correct. We have a continuance request in the office.
Yes, the petitioner sent in an email Monday at 3:30, so yesterday at 3:30, saying that they would like to reschedule because they could not take off of work. However, I do want to note that this is the exact same reason they gave for the last time for the July 9th hearing. So I highly recommend that the board continue this, but mark it no further continuances.
Ms. Scattergood, good afternoon. Is this your matter for the city?
Yes, it is, Ms. Chairperson. The city has no objection to a continuance.
Okay.
To one more continuance.
If this will, all right, so I'm going to take Ms. Andre's recommendation and request that the board approve this one last continuance in this matter. The petitioner will be notified that the matter was continued and that it must be tried at the next listing. Can I get approval from board members?
John O'Connor, I concur.
Nancy Cameradiner, I concur.
Ryan Boyer, I concur.
George Matthews, I concur.
Paula Weiss, I concur. Thank you. We're going to move on to, we're going to jump around a little bit today. Case number 6, which is 2945 North 25th Street. Last 4 digits of the docket are 9416. This matter was heard previously, and the board today is going to announce its decision in the matter. Mr. Jackson, you are here on Zoom. You can hear me?
Yes, ready.
Okay. And Ms. Scattergood, is this your case as well?
Yes, it is, Ms. Chairperson.
Okay. So having reviewed all of the information and evidence that had been provided by both parties in this matter, it is the decision of the board in this matter to abate the August 2008 balance transfer of $12,686.41 as per the 2007 court order that was entered into the record. The board also has added to its decision that 100% of penalties on the account will be abated, and that the finding is petitioner is responsible for all monthly bills from his ownership date. Mr. Jackson, do you have any questions?
Yes, ma'am. Just a little clarification. You said from the beginning of the time that I received the, or from the date on this stipulation.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
The date of ownership.
Date of ownership. Okay, date of ownership. Okay.
Ownership.
And what would that amount be, Your Honor?
That I don't have those up to date numbers.
Okay.
So
now, okay.
you will get an adjusted bill. You're going to get a letter from the Tax Review Board.
Okay.
And an adjusted bill from Water Revenue will follow. Okay. And either party may appeal to the Court of Common Pleas should they so desire. Can I get concurrence from the board for this decision?
John O'Connor, I concur.
Ryan Boyer, I concur.
Nancy Cameradiner, I concur.
George Matthews, I concur.
Paula Weiss, I concur. So, Mr. Jackson,
Yes.
you will get a letter with that decision, and that concludes the matter for today.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Take care.
Bye-bye.
And so we are going to move to case number 7. I believe the petitioner is on Zoom for us for 4836 North 9th Street and 9 Holbrook LLC. Last 4 digits of the docket 9332. Mr. Prince?
Yes,
Okay, this is you're the representative for this company
yes.
right now. Okay, and could you please state your full name for the board, please, for the record?
Yeah, John Prince is my name.
And Mr. Prince, do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this matter will be the truth?
Absolutely, yes.
Thank you. We're going to turn to the city representatives first so that we can have them put on the record the dates and dollar amounts and controversy and any opening comments. Then we will come back to you and you can explain to us why you're here and what you're looking for. I understand from the documents that we have seen that you no longer own this property. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, but we have permission, we do have a permission authorization letter from the current owner that allows you to represent this matter. Is that correct?
Correct.
And Ms. Andre, we have all of that in the file, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so Ms. Scattergood, we're going to turn to you. Who is your witness for today?
Today, we have Shalana Brown, who will be speaking on behalf of the Water Revenue Bureau.
Okay, Ms. Brown, welcome to the Tax Review Board.
Thank you.
Could you state your full name and position with the Department of Revenue, please?
Yes, Shalana Brown, Revenue Collection Representative.
Okay, could you provide us with the dates in controversy and the dollar amounts under appeal?
Did you-
August, April the 7th, 2020 through August the 2nd of 2023. Principal amount $2,437.78. Penalty amount $173.80. Lien amount $197.90, bringing the total disputed amount to $2,809.48.
Paula, I'm sorry to interrupt. You swore her in, correct?
Yes.
Okay, just making sure. Sorry.
Okay. Ms. Scattergood, any opening comments?
I believe Mr. Prince and Ms. Chairperson mentioned a letter of authorization from the current property owner, but the city of Philadelphia has no record of that letter or authorization,
Okay, so
just
we,
preliminarily.
You want me to scan it over to you? Because I could do that right now.
Yes, please, Ms. Andre, thank you.
okay, so we'll get that to you promptly. In the meantime, if you have any opening comments, that would be great.
So regarding the balance, there was a balance transfer on this property upon the recording of the deed conveying the property from N9 Holbrook to the current owner, who is named court's indulgence, who is named Jose Varquez Polanco. Pardon me if Jose Vasquez Polanco, excuse me. But the now discontinued account for N9 Holbrook LLC is a negative balance. So the city is happy to hear whatever Mr. Prince would like to convey to us as far as his concerns go, but the city is a little unclear exactly what Mr. Prince is asking for, because if he's seeking a refund request, then that would need to be a different type of petition to the through the administrative process.
Why don't we turn to Mr. Prince and have him give us his information as to why he's here today. Mr. Prince?
Okay, yeah, listen, thank you all for the opportunity to speak to begin with. What happened here was it was a little unusual. I was renting this property for, months and months over the course of several years. And unbeknownst to me, the renter, although they were instructed to do so, never paid the water bill. Okay. So my thought is this, that the city darn well knows, who I am and who owns the property. They were required to give information about, our address. Even if we don't want to give them this information, we have to give it to them. And they had the information and didn't, I think it's gross negligence not to at least inform me, or as they threaten so often, to shut the water off. I mean, how many years has to go by before you actually shut the water off for non-payment? So I guess I'm just making this a, kind common sense argument that month after month, you weren't paid. You didn't contact the owner of the property, and you didn't shut off the water. So, I mean, I can certainly understand, 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, but dozens and dozens of months, I think that's absurd. I mean, if I acted so irresponsibly, the city would have a lot to say about me and how I'm responsible for whatever action happens, whether it be, trash or some kind of other negligence on a property. I just think I think the city was really irresponsible.
So the city is saying, however, the account for, I guess your account was the LLC,
Yeah.
not showing anything due, and that the amount, I guess, that
Well,
it
yeah.
was transferred to the new owner. So I'm not sure what it is you're asking us.
Well,
give
the
you.
account has no balance on it because it was a requirement of mine, and I couldn't get a hearing before this. It was a requirement for me to zero out the balance to sell the property.
And,
So, the catch-22.
All right, have to hold on, Ms. Scattergood.
Mr. Prince, do you have any receipts for when you paid that balance? Because the only account statement, the only balance payment that we have like in the thousands on your account is the automatic balance transfer to Mr. Vasquez Polanco. So
On the closing date.
correct.
Yeah, well,
I don't, right.
That was,
But that would not
part
have
of the
been,
deal.
that was not a payment like from you. That was just a transfer of your account balance to the new owner's account balance. So it doesn't
Well, with
look
a
like there was
reduction,
anything that you
I
actually,
don't have it with me, but even if it wasn't a payment, it would have been a payment in kind. It would have been, a reduction of the bill. I don't have it with me. Clearly I had to have a zero balance. As you know, I'm not gonna be able to sell a property with a water balance and a water lien on the property.
But I think
And
what
that
Ms.
was-
Scattergood is saying is that there wasn't a zero balance, that whatever the amount, how much was the balance transfer, Ms. Scattergood?
the balance, I will defer to Ms. Brown for this, just to make sure that I don't say anything that's inconsistent or inaccurate.
It
Do you
was,
mind, Ms. Brown?
yes, $2,562.84.
Okay, so the
what?
city is not showing a payment for that. They're showing that that was actually transferred to the new owner.
No,
Go ahead. Ms.
excuse
Brown.
me, we did receive a payment. It didn't post to the account. It posted to the new owner's account, Mr. Polanco's, on August 31st of 2023. So a payment was made in the amount of $2,657.82.
Shalana, is that listed on Mr. Polanco's account as like a payment, or is it listed as a balance transfer?
It's listed as a payment.
Okay.
All right, so there was a
Okay, so,
payment.
okay, so my request would be that that there is a refund, that there is a separate refund process with the tax review board and with the Water Revenue Bureau to seek reimbursement for that payment, if that's the one that you're talking about, Mr. Prince.
Yeah,
But
it's what I'm talking about, but I also would like to have the judgment here because obviously you've already delayed the money. You already delayed the process by saying, oh, you have to go get a letter from this guy, even though, why would I need a letter when
because you're not the property owner anymore,
So
so
what? I paid that bill. The bill was sent to me. But at any rate, nonetheless, I had to go, and this guy could have easily said, no, I'm not going to give it to you. But he was nice enough to give it to me. So now then the next thing you do is you say, well, you know what? You didn't actually make a payment. Well, of course, it happened to be on the day of the closing. And it certainly was a payment for whether it had been technically a check or if it had been, a credit. I certainly had to give this money based on these bills. So now you're saying, oh, okay, no, you got all that checked off. let's now use another process.
Well,
I
Mr.
think
Prince,
make a
let's
decision
let
now.
me interrupt you then.
Yeah.
Are you able to tell us that this water was not used?
No, I cannot say the water was not used. My argument.
Was the property occupied the entire time period?
Well, when I found out about all these bills is when the people deserted the property. I'm not suggesting, ma'am, that the water wasn't there or that it should have been paid by the tenant, which it should have been. And I understand, listen, I understand the position that I'm in, but I'm just simply saying, let's use a little bit of common sense and reason and say, at what point does the city shut off? That's what they threaten all the time. They send letters, shut off letters, constantly threatening to shut off. At what point do you actually shut off? And now I'm the one stuck with the bill. Now I would, I'm certainly would open to some kind of compromise, but to have me pay for years when they could have contacted me, they certainly had my information. They could have contacted me and said, hey, you know what? Nobody's paying the bill. Then I could have addressed it. Or, gee, no one's paid the bill for years. I'm going to shut it off. But instead, they just let it go on and on and on. And then I find out after the people abandon the property that I have this big bill.
I
I'm not
think you're in a
saying that-
refund posture though. Paula, I think he's in a refund posture and this isn't the proper venue for this. That's what I'm thinking. You're the chair, Paula, whatever you want to do. But they already paid the money. Yeah.
I think you're accurate there. Ms. Gallagher, did you have anything else that you wanted to say? And then I think the board probably should have a discussion for a few minutes.
I was going to say the same thing that that board person Boyer just said, which is that I think that whatever relief Mr. Prince is entitled to right now is limited to the form of requesting a refund. Because he's not the petition for which we're here today is to dispute the bills themselves, which Mr. Prince has just said he's not contesting because the water service was provided to the property. There's no indication that that no bills were being received. So notice was provided about the bills and about the charges. And it's unfortunate that tenants don't always notify landlords when bills arrive, but as the property owner, it is ultimately the responsibility of N9 Holbrook to pay the city of Philadelphia one way or another for the water services that it provides to that property.
But I'm also suggesting there's some responsibility on the city's part to notify the person or to shut off the water. I'm not suggesting I have no responsibility. I'm just saying that you people were extremely negligent in not contacting me or shutting the water off. At what point, ma'am, do you shut the water off?
Well, I think it varies, and I'm just going to jump in here, Ms.
Yeah.
Gallagher, because this was also during COVID when there was a no shut off policy. Not entirely the entire period, but certainly for a substantial period because of COVID, the city was not turning off water. Whether they should have notified you or not is a different issue, I concede. Can we step back for a few minutes, Melissa?
Absolutely. If everyone just stays put, the board is just going to go into a virtual room.
Okay. Okay. Absolutely. I'll be okay.
Ms. Brown, thank you for your honesty. I appreciate it.
You're
I
welcome.
really do, yeah. Thanks.
Okay.
this was their process. This was their process that I followed. And now they're saying, oh, no, do another process.
All right, we have everybody back. Yes. Okay, tax review board is back in session. Mr. Prince, we did review the information that you provided with us, your testimony, and also the city's position and the status and posture of this particular circumstance. And unfortunately, we don't think that there is any relief that we can grant you at this time. We recognize, we hear you that certainly understand that the landlord-tenant account process has some significant flaws, which you have stated eloquently. We also recognize that a large portion of this time period was during COVID when there were no shutoffs occurring. We also, however, can see that from your testimony, the property was occupied, water was used, and does not appear to be an excessive amount of water on a monthly basis where we would see any relief would be available or something that we could offer. So at this point,
You can't see any? You can't see any?
no.
Wow.
So the decision of the board at this time is to deny this petition. Can I get concurrence from board members?
Yes,
Ryan-
John O'Connor, I concur, sorry.
Ryan Boyer, I
Cameron
concur.
Diener, I concur.
George
George Matthews, I concur.
Paula Weiss, I concur. Mr. Prince, you will get a letter from the tax review board with that decision in about 2 weeks. You may appeal to the Court of Common Pleas, should you so desire. Otherwise, this matter will be concluded in front of the board. So thank you for coming in, and we do appreciate your time, and we do appreciate your position.
Okay, I don't know what else to say. I think something was on order, but you decided not to. But what can I do about it? Nothing.
Have a
Okay.
good afternoon. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna move on to the remaining cases on our agenda, which are what do we got? 2, 3, 4, 5.
Thank you.
Stephen and Agnes Frempong. All right. Mr. Frempong,
Good afternoon, members of the panel.
pardon me?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. You know what, could you move over a little bit so we can see you a little more and you can hopefully see us? We know you are here for several cases. I think the best option is probably to go one at a time.
No problem.
Okay, so we are going to start with 5110 North 12th Street, last 4 digits of the docket, 9762. Ms. Scattergood or Ms. Brown? Ms. Brown, can you give us the dollar amounts and amounts in controversy?
Yes, November 17th, 2016 through January the 10th, 2025. Principal amount $7,051.37. Penalty amount $82.23. Lien amount $106.45, bringing the total disputed amount to $7,240.05.
Ms. Brown. So can you slow down a little
I'm
bit?
sorry.
No, it's fine. It's just a little.
Yeah, we're writing this down,
Yeah,
so.
Oh, okay.
And then can you also repeat the period, if that's okay?
Yes, November the 17th, 2016 through January the 10th, 2025.
I
And
got
the,
the number. We're good.
okay.
All right, so that's 5110 North 12th Street. Ms. Scattergood, do you have any opening comment on this? property?
To the extent that that the granting of this petition constitutes an approval of nunc-pro-tunc consideration, the board has to object because the petition is clearly out of time unless Mr. Frempong can show that they didn't have any notice about these charges. And Mr. and Mrs. Frempong are both owners of several properties within the city of Philadelphia, and they have been before this board several times. So they are well aware of the fact that that petitions are out of time unless you can show that you didn't have notice until 60 days before the petition date.
Okay.
Yes, yeah.
All right, Mr. So this petition was filed in 2022. Although, Ms. Brown, you read us the date current through 2025. Correct?
Yes, that is correct.
So we're gonna, but the petition is actually challenging through 2022. So we might want to relook at those numbers, but, all right, Mr. Frempong, the city is challenging this petition since it starts with a 2016 date and was not filed until 2022, that this is out of time for the Tax Review Board to actually review. Can you explain to us what occurred at this property
In-
and why it was not
Yeah,
filed until
yes.
2022?
Yes, they have my address at any time. They never send me any notice. So I have to go to City Hall occasionally to the water billing area to pull this. In fact, yesterday I went there to pull this. So when they say that they send it to me, they have to prove, the burden is on them to prove that they send it to me. They never send me anything. I always have to chase them around. Most of the properties were rental properties. So the tenants go in, make arrangements to pay, and then even when I go there and the tenants are there, they tell me that I cannot ask any question about the tenants. So I'm prohibited from information about my own property and my tenants because it's a privacy issue. So it's not that I will have to wait till all that. It's just I'm prevented from getting to the information that I need.
So this property had a tenant in it for all this time?
It was vacant for some time and it was rented, but it's a rental property.
Okay, thank
That's
you.
what I'm saying.
All right, so let's go back, Ms. Scattergood.
Mr. Frempong, do you mind if I just ask you a couple of quick questions
Sure.
before I have Ms.
Sure.
Brown discuss? Do you have a rental license for this property?
At the moment, it's not rented.
Okay. Was there a rental license for this property active during
that's
the
correct.
period in question?
That's correct.
Okay. And where were you having bills sent for your water accounts from 2016 to 22 when you filed this petition?
The bill was sent to Chew Avenue. The bill was supposed to be sent to Chew Avenue. They never sent it there. And then later on, I provided another billing for post office. So can send it there, and they never sent it there.
Okay. Did you ever reach out to the city of Philadelphia to request an address change to make sure that that duplicate bills were being sent to you guys for this property, for 5110 North 12th Street?
What it is that when the properties are rented, they are sent to the tenants. I don't get anything. We give the tenants lease, and then they go and make arrangement with the city themselves.
But as the property owner, you know that you are ultimately responsible for the water bills, right?
Oh, sure.
So
I know that. That is why I go in there to check if I can be given access. And they say that somebody lives there. He's in charge of that, and I cannot ask any questions with regard to the billing. So I'm prevented from asking any question about the billing. Then when they move out, then they transfer the bill to me. That is the problem I have been having.
But if the tenants are not providing you access to the property, you know the process for requesting duplicate bills to be mailed right to you, correct? Because you've had that done before, right?
You get me wrong. I didn't say that they didn't give me access to the property. I said that the city prevented me from getting information about the tenants with regard to the water.
Well, what information were you asking for?
The billing.
The billing?
I don't get access to the bill because it's not in my name. So what that I'm saying is that I go in there and then check. Then after they move out, then they transfer it to me.
Okay, so let me stop.
Okay.
So Ms. Scattergood, what Mr. Frempong is saying is that his attempts to learn from water revenue whether or not his tenants were paying the bill was denied. Is it your understanding that that is the correct process or policy of water revenue if a tenant has their own account?
My
It's
understanding,
Just a minute, Mr. Frempong.
I'm prepared to have Ms. Brown discuss the communication efforts on the part of the water customer, whether the tenant or the owner, to get information about the water bills. So if the board would grant me the indulgence of now switching to some direct examination with Ms. Brown, then maybe we can, excuse me, clear a little bit of that up.
Okay.
Okay. Ms. Brown, have you had a chance to review this customer's account?
Yes,
Okay. And so what kind of property is 5110 North 12th Street?
it's a single family residential property.
Okay. And who owns the property?
Stephen Frempong
Okay. And how do you know this?
from the recorded deed.
Okay. Where are bills being sent for this account?
To the property's address.
To the property's address. Okay. What's the communication record? What does the communication record look like customer interactions for this property?
There's several it's been several documentation that the water customer has been given billing information on the property's account balance.
Okay. What's the policy regarding tenant owner privity, I guess, or for
So-
lack of a better term, communications regarding tenants on the part of the owners?
Once it's determined that we are speaking with the owner, they can get any type of information they need, both from on their accounts and the tenant's account.
As to the billing and the water usage, correct? Not like,
Yes.
okay. Okay, so has there been actual usage in the property over the last 6 months?
Yes.
Okay. And is there any information on the system showing the property is owner occupied?
No.
Okay. What charges appeared on the bill for this property during the disputed period?
Usage, service, and stormwater charges.
Okay, and the readings, were they progressive?
From what I see in basis, yes.
Okay, and basis is, just for the record, what is basis?
I'm sorry, it's the city's it's our information of the amount of water usage the customer uses each month, the amount.
Okay. Okay, and that's a database that you use on a regular, no pun intended, on a regular basis.
Yes.
As part of your duties with the Water Revenue Bureau, correct?
That is correct, yes.
Okay. And were the usage readings for this property actual, or were they estimated?
Actual.
Okay. Just very quickly, are there any licenses on file for this property?
We do have a inactive rental license.
Inactive?
Inactive, yes.
Okay, which periods were covered by the now inactive rental license?
It was issued on August the 16th of 2013, and the inactive date is as of April the 29th of 2018.
Okay. Okay. But it's not been, the rental license has not been renewed since then, based
No,
on the records you can see?
yes.
Okay. Okay, so were there any periods during this disputed period with more than 3 months in a row of estimated readings?
No,
Okay. Were there any months with 0 usage?
no. Well,
Okay.
yes, I'm sorry.
Okay,
Currently, yes.
currently, okay. So does it look like the property is the property occupied right now?
From the reading history for the last 4 months, no.
Okay. Were those zero usage readings actual or were they estimated readings?
They were actual.
Okay. Was there actual usage recorded during the period of during the beginning of this disputed period in 2016 until the end strike that. Was there actual usage on the property from the expiration of that rental license in 2018 until now?
I don't have information. I don't have any documentation stating that.
Okay. Was there water usage though? What was the usage history like, I guess, from 2018 until this petition was filed in 2022?
So the usage that we have stops at November the 16th of 2016, and then it generates again when the December 16th of 2023. That's all of the information that I can see.
Okay. Okay. What did technicians go out to the property at all during at any point during the disputed period between 2016 and 2023?
Yes.
Okay, when did they go?
December the 16th of 2023.
Okay. Does the system show who requested that visit?
Yes.
Who was it?
It was just a system generated request. It wasn't an actual person.
Okay. Does the system show the purpose of that request?
It was because we were unable to read the meter to get actual reads from the meter.
Okay, so so meter shop technicians installed or serviced parts of the meter assembly during that visit in December of 23?
Yes.
Okay, and for the record, what are the components of the meter assembly?
The data transmitter, the register, and the actual meter.
Okay, so did the technicians install or service the meter?
No.
Good. I think you might need to give us some relevance here because we're talking about notice and billing.
Glad
Okay.
you asked that. Thank you.
Pardon me, Mr. Frempong?
She's asking you the relevance of this when we are talking about notice.
I'm trying to, Madam Chairperson, I'm trying to establish that that water was being used and for which bills were being generated for this property during the disputed period.
It's talking about notice. What is the relevance?
Where I guess what's relevant is where were the bills being sent?
Ms. Brown?
They were being sent to the property address.
Okay.
I'm just.
My apologies, Madam Chairperson. I was trying to ensure that I could address all of the issues that Mr. Frempong raised in the petition itself, in which he was seeking some clarification on the meter equipment itself as well. So
Fair
so
enough.
I want it. Yes. Okay.
616.
Thank you.
Ms. Scattergood, I'm sorry.
Yes, ma'am.
I just pulled up an actual bill, and my apologies. They were actually being sent to P.O. Box 20586, Philadelphia, PA 19138.
Okay. Which bill is that?
This is a September 9th of 2021.
Okay.
And
Are there any customer interactions on the system before August of 2022 when this petition was filed, requesting a change of address or duplicate bills to be mailed for this property?
Yes, January the 26th of 2021.
Okay. And what was that request?
The mailing address was changed from the property address to the PO box that I just mentioned.
I'm sorry, when
So-
was that? I missed the date.
January the 26th of 2021.
Thank you.
Okay. So as of January, so is the PO box, is that the mailing address we currently have on file for the customer?
No, it's the property address now.
So bills were at some point changed from being mailed to the PO box to being mailed to the property.
That is correct, yes.
When was that change back done?
One moment, I'm gonna check now. It was done sometime around October of 2024.
Okay. Pivoting just slightly, do the call logs indicate the water customer, excuse me, came in to ask for account history or any documentation about the billing or reading history of this property?
Yes.
Okay. When was that?
So we have calls dating back from October of
Oh, Lord.
2023.
Okay. So at least as of October of 2023, what about before that? Were there any like mail address changes or other customer interactions on this account from the water customer?
No, well, we did try to forward mail to mailing address change. No, I'm sorry, no.
No? Okay.
No.
Was there a tenant account before? Were there tenant accounts activated
Yes.
before, like during? Okay.
Ms. Brown, do you have those dates or those customer account information data?
Yes, we have a Angela Coleman,
And when was that?
and her account was created looks like her account was created November the 7th of 2006.
Okay. When does the system show that she moved out? So when was the leaving date? I think it would be showing up on the system.
We have the last actual reading from Ms. Coleman's account was October the 5th of 2016.
Okay. Is there another tenant account? In addition to Ms. Coleman's account and Mr. Frempong's owner account?
Yes,
Okay. And who is that listed for?
a Samantha Bond.
Okay. And when did, what's the occupancy date for Ms. Bond for her account?
November the 16th of 2016.
Okay. Does Ms. Bond's customer interaction show water customer dispute or water customer communications with the city regarding the billing and accounting for this property?
No,
No, okay. But Mr. Frempong's rental license was valid for at least part of this period, correct?
that is correct. Yes.
Okay. Okay,
I think we get the
yeah,
gist of what's.
okay, nothing further from Ms. Brown.
All right, Ms. Frempong, Mr. Frempong, did you have any questions for the
Ye-
city's witness?
Yes,
Go right ahead.
Ms. Brown, what is the policy of a landowner asking a tenant coming to your office to ask a tenant's account? What is your policy?
Well, as long as you can provide documentation that you are the owner, we will give you any information on the account that you request.
About the tenant account?
That is correct. Yes, sir.
When did you start that?
That has always been the policy.
Do you have the policy here?
I'm sorry.
You have the policy here, or is there any way that we can refer us to that policy?
You would have to go look at the Water Revenue Bureau regulations. They're always online.
Can you refer us, if it's online, can you refer us to that, the page that policy is on?
You can, I'm sure you can go to the Water Revenue Bureau's website, and you can click on the licensed landlord tenants guidelines. And if you can't find it there, you can come into the customer service unit and we'll be happy to provide you with that.
When a tenant come in and is a low income tenant, do you base the payment on that person's income?
If they are the account holder and they meet all the qualifications, yes.
Okay. When you do that, do you inform the landlord?
I'm sorry.
When you do that, let's assume that you modify the payment or whatever payment you make, do you inform the landlord?
What do you, I'm sorry, I'm not understanding your question.
Let me frame the question. When you enter into agreement with a low-income landlord, do you inform the landlord?
We're not entering an agreement with the landlord. We're entering into an agreement with the tenant.
The tenant, sorry.
Yeah. Do we inform the owner of their account, of their
That's correct.
payment arrangement? No, sir, we do not. You have access to that if you want it. You can come in and ask.
Okay.
Ms. Brown, was
I haven't
that,
finished,
did that,
please.
I just want to object to further questioning on the matter of income-based payment arrangements, because the account for this property doesn't show any kind of application for or completion of a payment plan for this property. Is that correct, Ms. Brown? Are there any payment plans that have been requested or completed or pending on this account?
On Ms. Bond's account, I didn't see any. I can go back and check on the previous tenant's account. One moment.
Yes, please. Thank you. Court's indulgence, or not court, sorry, board.
There's nothing on Ms. Coleman's account either.
Okay.
You finished your question?
Yeah, I just want, in the interest of relevance, I just wanted to ensure that we didn't waste resources discussing something that doesn't
Well,
pertain to
spend-
doesn't pertain to
spend
this
more
account,
time.
because
If you have any objection, you can object. But you
Wait,
are
wait,
spending
wait,
more
wait,
time.
wait, wait, wait. Paula is on mute. Paula, nobody can hear you. I think you're
Oh,
trying to
I'm
say.
sorry. Okay, everybody, we're looking at that only for purposes of notification. We're not getting into any kind of income or payment arrangement specifications. Mr. Frempong, did you have anything else you wanted to say?
No, when the Miss Board left the property, was he owing anything?
No, we're not getting into individual payment matters for your individual tenants. We're talking about whether or not you as the landlord have the responsibility. So you can go into you can always go into water revenue and get all the details that you think you need regarding the tenants and the tenant accounts. Is there anything else regarding your argument that you would like to provide the board?
Or if you want me to go ahead, first let me ask you before I start mine. What period are you saying that we own?
Pardon me, what was the question?
The period that we are discussing now. What period is that?
what's the disputed period again, Ms. Brown?
That's quite disputed period.
January 1st, 2016 through July 22nd of 2022.
Okay.
That was on your petition, Mr. Frempong. That was your request.
Okay. Was there you said that we can refer, was there at any time during this period that, no, I'm backing off. What is on July 9th, 2024, there was a bill.
We're not talking about 2024. We're talking about 2016 through to July of 2022.
Okay, within that period, was there any amount transferred to the owner? Because I have a what is called default between transfer. What does that mean? I'm backing up. What does default balance transfer mean? Ms. Brown.
That can, I'm sorry, what was the date, sir?
No,
He's asking generally about what the default balance transfers are.
Yeah.
Yeah, that if you had a tenant in the property and they had left the balance, the ultimate responsibility lies with the property owner. So it will transfer over to you once the tenant account is closed.
When a tenant open an account, do you inform the landlord?
I'm sorry.
When a tenant open an account, do you inform the landlord?
We do, yes.
Do you have any copy of the letter that you sent with regard to any of this, the two people that you mentioned, that you can provide?
Well, Mr. Frempong, I'm going to stop you because your petition says that it is your position that the tenant is responsible for the water. So
Yeah, that's my
probably
position.
that's,
If they are refuting that position, then I'm asking if they inform the landlord. Because if they supersede the landlord's right and enter into an agreement, the landlord is entitled to know what is going on, and that's where I'm going to.
okay, we understand your argument. Ms. Sattergood, do you have any closing remarks?
Just to clarify Mr. Frempong's inaccurate statement of the city regulations. The tenant, even if there is a water tenant account, the tenant is not the one ultimately responsible for payment of water bills on the property. As long as the property has a meter through which water is running and service is being provided to the property, then even if the tenant is not paying their water bills, the landlord and the property owner is the one ultimately responsible for paying those bills. And as a landlord who owns multiple properties throughout the city of Philadelphia, Mr. Frempong is well aware of this fact. And the Municipal Claims and Liens Act supersedes whatever lease agreement he had with his tenants during the period in dispute. The tenant account process is merely a convenience for the landlord to ensure that he can identify which water usage, I guess, is attributable to which tenants. But as the property owner, it's Mr. Frempong's responsibility to ensure that the city of Philadelphia is compensated for the service that it is providing.
Thank you.
So it's our position that, absent further indication of no notice, this petition be denied with prejudice.
And I have one more question for Ms. Brown before we step back. I think the board is ready to.
Can I ask my last question before, please?
I'm sorry, Mr.
Can
Frempong.
I ask Ms. Brown a last question before you?
Yes, go right ahead.
Ms. Brown, is there any record that the meter was changed within the period that we are talking about?
One moment, sir.
Between 2016 and 2022?
That's correct.
No, I don't.
Let me follow up a
One-
question. Was there when was the last time that the meter was installed?
20, from November the 3rd of 2016 is the information that I have.
Fine, thank you. Ms. Brown, I have one more
Yeah.
question for the board information, and that is, can you tell me when the last time a payment was made on this account?
There has never been a payment made on the account.
Thank you. All right, the board is going to step back now and discuss all of this, so everybody just sit tight.
There you go.
Everyone is back.
Okay, Tax Review Board is now in session. The board did look at all the information and the discussion that pertained to this property, and it's the decision of the board to deny this petition. We don't see any basis for relief at this point. Tenant was there, water was used, and therefore, Mr. Frempong, can I get concurrence from the board? This petition-
Yes, John O'Connor, I concur.
Nancy Cameron, I concur.
Ryan Boyer, I concur.
George
All
Matthews, I
right.
concur.
Paula Weiss, I concur. Mr. Frempong, you will get a letter about this property within 2 weeks from the Tax Review Board with the decision. An adjusted bill from water revenue will follow. Either party may appeal to the Court of Common Pleas within 30 days from the date of the decision letter. And we are going to move on to the next property, which is 5635 McMahon Street, last 4 digits of the docket 9971. And Ms. Brown, can we get the dollar amounts and dates and controversy, please?
Yes. December 29th, 2011 through August the 29th of 2023. The principal amount is $8,367.78. The penalty amount, $5,523.76. Lien amount, $557.25, bringing the total disputed amount to $14,448.79.
Thank you. Ms. Scattergood, any opening comments?
The city has to object again to nunc-pro-tunc consideration. This petition covers over a decade's worth of water bills for which Mr. Frempong has had the opportunity to file petitions with the Water Revenue Bureau or the Tax Review Board if he so chose. In fact, he actually has previously squandered the opportunity to meaningfully dispute bills during this period because there's a docket ending in ZW6920, which concerned a bill from December of 2011 that he claimed that he was disputing by mistakenly claiming it was the responsibility of the tenants. So the city has to object to nunc-pro-tunc consideration of this petition is out of time unless he can affirmatively show that he had no notice of any of these charges until 60 days after, or 60 days for the petition date.
Okay, Mr. Frempong, why did you wait until 2022 to file this petition for bills dating back to 2011?
If I may, just like what you went through, they have to establish that there was a service. I have established the contact address. If they have anything different, they should put on record.
I'm sorry, I don't know what you're referring to.
I said that my position is that there was still a timely notice for me to file this appeal. And
I think Ms. Scattergood just put on the record that as early as 2011, you were involved in litigation over the billings.
oh, the 2011, I filed something for 2011, but this is after 2011.
And you're saying that you didn't know about any of the bills after 2011?
No. And if they have anything contrary, they should establish it.
Well, Mr.
Fine.
Frimpong, if you don't mind, Madam Chairperson, I just
Please.
want to clarify that as this is Mr. Frimpong's petition, it is his burden to affirmatively show that he didn't have any notice of these bills, but the city is happy to rebut that presumption if to the extent that it's necessary. If I may.
Could we just have Ms. Brown very briefly
Yes.
give us just mailing address and for the bills and
Thank
then
you.
move on.
The bills are going to PO Box 20586, Philadelphia, PA 19138.
And as of when? Do you know when that was actually put onto the system?
I'm checking now. One moment,
Mhm.
please.
He's reverberating. I don't know who's got background noise.
I do not have a date. I am sorry.
Okay,
If I may,
yes.
I think I told you that the post of the time he's talking about 211 and after, I didn't have that address. The address he's talking about, I established just recently, sometime in 2023. So that is not
Okay.
the original address.
So
That's
not a-
what I wanted to make.
Okay, is there anything else, Mr. Frimpong, other than the fact that you didn't have notice?
No, what I know is that the people who lived there were paying their rent and they were paying their water. And as of now, somebody even lived there and he's paying the water.
How do you know he was paying the water?
My wife talked to
Pardon me?
My wife talked to her all the time. They are friends.
Okay, so can I ask Ms. Brown, can you give us some payment history here?
Yes. So we are receiving monthly payments, but they're not in the amount to cover the delinquent balance.
And is that for the period in question, which is 2011 through 2023?
That, yes. Well, for the whole year of 2011, up until 2012, July of 2012, there were no payments that were made. And then from July of 2012 onward, monthly payments were being made in the amount of the current bill.
And so where does the delinquency come from then?
This is a running balance. I'm going back. I can date this back until 2004.
Okay. When did you purchase the property, Mr. Frimpong?
Oh, I think it's 1986 somewhere.
And it's been a rental?
I can't be precise, but it's around the mid-80s.
Okay. All right, Ms. Scattergood, anything you want to provide?
If Ms. Brown would not mind giving some customer interaction history on this account, specifically with regard to the water customer, not necessarily the tenant. Any peer, as far as notice goes, if there were any efforts on the part of the property owner to get balance, to get account information from this account.
object to that. I think that
Just a minute.
I
Mr.
wasn't,
Brumbaugh,
I'm,
she's
Mr.
asking-
Brumbaugh, my question was directed to Ms. Brown, not to you.
Yes, we have documentation that calls were made regarding payment arrangements, balances were given from 2012 onward.
So from 2012 onward, would it be fair to say that the water customer had noticed that water was being used on the
That-
account and bills were going to be issued?
That is correct.
Okay. And there was actual usage on, there was actual usage on this property during this disputed period?
Yes.
Okay. Was there any service to the meter assembly during the disputed period?
Yes.
Okay. When did meter shop technicians go out to the property?
Like June the first, well, we have, excuse me, April the 6th of 2023.
Okay.
During the disputed period, Ms. Brown.
Which I-
Okay, yes, when I go to.
well, that period ends in August of 23, I think, so.
You're right, sorry.
Paula, is there any way we can go, because we're right now trying to decide if we got jurisdiction because it's timely. So do we need to hear all the facts or we should go to the back now?
We could go back and discuss it.
Everybody just hold tight.
Absolutely. All right, everyone is back. I think we're back in session. Ms. Brown or Ms. Scotto, we would like one more piece of evidence entered into the record, please, before we announce our decision. And that is, could we have a screenshot, Ms. Brown, or whoever can share their screen, of the information you were looking at showing the taxpayer contact with the department?
Yes, one moment. Let's see.
If I may, Ms. Brown,
Oh,
it might be easier to take a screenshot and share that because the Basis 2 screen is a little difficult to read
Okay.
on the screen share because there's no zooming in and out capability.
Okay, 1 second. Just go to the calls. So I am not sure how to
I
take
can pull it
a
up.
screenshot. It's not aware that.
I can do that with the board's indulgence, or I can
Send me a screenshot, that's fine.
Okay, I can
Right,
do
so we'll
that.
enter that into the record later. So in this situation, in this case, the board did discuss the filing date specifically for this matter, taking into account the dates on the petition starting in 2011 with the city's testimony and documentation showing customer contact. And it is our decision to deny this petition as it was filed beyond the statutory limitations set by the Philadelphia Code, requiring that petitions be filed within 60 days of the date of the billing from the department. So can I get concurrence from board members?
John O'Connor, I concur.
Nancy Cameron, I concur.
Ryan,
Ryan Boyer, I concur.
George,
George Matthews, I concur.
and Paula Weiss, I concur. So this petition is denied. Mr. Frempong, you will get a letter from the Tax Review Board within 2 weeks of this hearing. It will have appeal information on it, should you so desire to move ahead with this matter. And we are going to move to the next case, which is Agnes Frempong as the petitioner, 2124 North 11th Street, last 4 digits of the docket, SE61.
If I may, can
yes.
we move on to Rittenhouse before we go to 11th Street, please?
Sure. I don't think that's an issue.
Yeah.
We're gonna jump ahead then to
Because a lot, that one,
2030 East Rittenhouse Street, which is the last 4 digits of the docket, 9970. And Mr. Frempong, you are the petitioner for this as well. And we're going to turn first to Ms. Brown for information as to the dates and amounts in controversy.
Yeah, so that's April 2013 through August 2023. The principal amount, $5,699.70. The penalty amount, $2,843.90. And the lien amount, $497.25, bringing the total disputed amount to, I have different numbers, I'm so sorry.
Okay.
$9,040.85.
You and Ms. Scattergood, any brief opening comments?
There are outstanding judgments for unpaid water bills covering a substantial portion of this disputed period.
Can you read those into the record?
Sure.
For us,
There
please?
are
Dates?
4 separate dockets dating back to 2014. The first docket, going in chronological order, the first docket is CE-14-14-10-72-0066.
And
And
what does that cover?
that's for unpaid water between April 2013 and June of 2014.
Okay, the second one?
CE-16-08-72-0786. Covering September of 2014 through March of 2016.
Okay, third?
The third one is CE-18-06-72-0073.
Covering
May of 2016 through February of 2018.
and the fourth.
CE-18-10-82-0029.
And it covers
March of 2018 through October of 2018.
okay. Okay, so Mr. Frempong, the dates, the time periods that are covered by judgments already filed by the city for the periods of time that Ms. Scattergood has read into the record covering the periods from April of 2013 to October of 2018 are outside the jurisdiction
I-
of this administrative board, so that we will not provide any relief or hear any argument regarding those periods of time. Ms. Scattergood, is there anything else you want to start with?
So to the
May I ask a question before we go ahead?
Yes,
If I may, I will ask the board to order the city to give me the report of this for me to see it.
for you to what?
The judgment that she cited,
Yes,
I would like to get copies of the judgment, and if the board would indulge in that, to ask the city to provide me with that judgment.
you
Because
want copies of the dockets that
That's
were
correct.
served, that were all served to you?
that's
Sure.
I
I
don't have it, and I don't know why. So if the court will, if the board will order the city to provide me with copies.
I
okay,
can email those to Ms. Andre and have her. I can, or unless Mr. Frempong, unless you would like me to
Yeah,
email them directly.
you can.
They were
email
s-
that directly.
Right.
thank
All
you.
right.
Ms.
Mhm.
Okay, so we're talking about then a time period from essentially from October of 2018 through August of 2023 would be available for us to hear whatever you would like to tell us about this property, Mr. Frempong.
For Rittenhouse.
Yes, 2030 East Rittenhouse Street. Is this also tenant occupied? Is your argument the same as for the prior two properties?
Yes. But more important, if the court will allow,
I'm sorry, what was that?
more important, I don't have, since this has been amended, I'm not sure whether the period that we are talking about is the same, and if the city can provide me with the notice within that time.
Are you talking about for the judgments, or are you talking about for other?
No, within that, within 2018 to 2023,
Yes.
what happened?
Well, you need to tell us what happened. Was there, were there tenants there? Was it occupied? What is your concern about the water bill for that period of time?
There are two concerns. That within that period, there were some vacancy there, but more important, I am not aware of any meter functionality.
Meter functionality?
Yeah. When was the meter tested, and how often was the meter tested?
Well, the meter would not be tested if you didn't request a test unless the city had some independent information. I mean, it's in your property.
Yeah, but I don't know whether, even if I'm not tested within the regulatory policy, they have to test the meter within certain time frame.
Did you request a meter test?
Yes.
And when was that?
I'm not sure of the time that I requested, but mainly, occasionally, I request meters to be tested on my properties.
Do you have any record of that, sir?
Of the testing?
No,
of
when
the
you made
requests
the
for
actual
them.
request.
No, as I said, occasionally, I request the meters to.
But you've asked for us to hear this case. You need to tell us specifically, did you request a meter test for this specific property? Not
Yes.
occasionally I request meter tests for, properties that I own. And do you know when that was?
Every 5 years, I call them to test the meter for me. But most cases, they say that they test the meter in 10 years. And that is the problem I see.
Ms. Brown, do you have any record of any meter being tested in this property? Or
Um,
being
Yes, we do. We have numerous times the water department actually came out to the property to service the meter and the ERT, which was missing. It was not in the property when we came out on several occasions.
When was the last time it was tested?
The last time the meter was serviced was April the 13th of 2018.
So, Mr. Frempong, are you questioning the usage that was billed, or what is it that exactly you're questioning before we get into any of that deeper?
The reading is almost high, and so I'm bothered by the functionality or the correctness of the meter reading.
And
That's
how many, is this tenant occupied?
within that time frame, there were some tenants occupied. Within the period, it was vacant.
What period? You have to be specific, Mr. Frempong.
I think
What
they
period
can
was
find
the-
it.
was it-
Their
was it-
record will reflect that more accurately than mine.
This,
All right.
May I ask Ms. Brown a few questions, Madam Chairperson?
Yes, and could we just see I know that attached to the information that we have, there is an account history showing usage. Could we review that quickly too? Because I think it shows what the billings were.
Sure. Ms. Brown, do you know how to share? Are you good to share your screen? It's going to be, I think it'll be a little faster if we just.
The
do
best
that on
I can
screen.
do is turn it around so that
Okay.
I don't know how to.
Ms. Scattergood, can you share your screen with the
Yes,
usage?
let me
Love where you got your
okay. Okay, can you all see?
Is it, can you zoom in at all? Or is this a static?
Basis does not give us the opportunity to zoom in, unfortunately.
All right.
But this is the reading history from today until you can see it's been zero usage until dating back more or less until December of 2019.
Okay,
And then
so are you telling us that primarily these bills from I don't know when in 2019, are service charge and stormwater only?
Ms. Brown?
Yes, that
Any-
is correct.
Okay, and that's, okay,
There is usage between, let's see, from November of 2018, if you can see where the blue is, where I've highlighted, from November of 2018 up until it looks like through November of 2019, there is usage on the property. So the water customer would have been billed for usage as well as service and stormwater.
and if subsequent to that, it's been stormwater and service charge only for the period of time I see in 2023.
Is that right, Ms. Brown?
41 months, it says.
Yes.
Okay, so it got zeroed out. All right, so Mr. Frempong, what is it that you're questioning about this bill? What the city is showing us is that there was no usage billed for the period in question, that it was primarily service charge and stormwater only, which every property owner is responsible for paying regardless of whether the property is using water or is not, if as long as there's no discontinuance permit on the property. So what would you like to tell us about this property?
I think that some of the judgment that they have taken is embedded in this building. That's my suspicion. The second is.
Well, that might be, but where there's nothing we can do about the amounts that are part of the judgment. That you have to take up at the, I assume it's municipal court or the Court of Common Pleas.
It
No,
would be
no,
the
no.
municipal
I'm
court.
not talking about that. If there has been a judgment, then it shouldn't be part of this.
Well, it's not. We're only talking,
not.
no, we're talking about the post judgment. We're talking about 2018 to 2023. We're not talking about the years where there were judgments, which were 2013 through October of 2008.
So we are talking about, say, 10 years, and the 10 years,
We're not talking about 10 years. We're talking about 5 years.
5 years,
October of 2018 to August of 2023.
and
That's
it's
5 years.
5 years, and the amount is 56.99 for the window.
I believe that Ms. Brown read that in for the periods, including the judgment. So I think,
That's the point I'm saying, that the
Okay.
judgment might be included.
okay. So I guess unfortunately, Ms. Brown, can you try to tell us what the balance is from October of 2018 to August of 2023?
Parsing out
It's-
the judgment.
Is it October 18 or is it March of 20? I thought one of the
October 18.
judgments went from March of 18 to, excuse me,
October
March of 18 to
18.
March of 20, or am I wrong?
March of 18 to October of 18 is what I have, Ms.
Oh,
Scott.
October, okay.
That's
fine.
correct.
All right.
That's correct.
So, Ms. Brown, can you parse out the dollar amounts that are due absent the judgments from October 2018 through August of 2023?
Yes. 1 second. So the balance, is that what you want, the balance as of 2018?
Yes.
So the balance as of October of 2018 was $4,368.93.
Okay, so if we subtract that from the dollar amount you gave us originally, which is $5,699, is that what we get?
I-
Because there was no usage primarily, it's just we're talking service charge. Is that for the period that's in front of us?
So there was usage in 2018,
Right, but it was minimal.
minimal, yes.
So my question still is, if we subtract, let me see, 5,699 minus 4, give me a minute, my trusty calculator. So essentially, the dollar amount roughly from October of 2018 through August of 2023, the principal amount is in the in the neighborhood of $1,330. If you're
Yes.
selling, okay, so Mr. Frempong, it's approximately, I don't have an
I don't have
exact,
any objection.
approximately $1,330 when you take
Yeah.
out the judgment amounts.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right, so once again, I'm not sure what you're asking us to do.
No, I will withdraw my appeal on this.
Thank you. All right, so this petition is withdrawn.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna move on.
But if I may,
Yes,
I want it to reflect on the record that this is what is owned, so that if I go and make agreement, then.
no, I'm telling you that is not an exact number, it's an approximation.
No, I know that, I understand, but I'm saying that it should be around 1350 to 1500.
That's only for the period covering 2018 through the filing of the petition.
That's
Right.
right.
Okay, yeah.
The judgment amounts are, if the judgment amounts have not been paid, they are still outstanding.
That's it. That
Okay.
one is a different issue.
Okay, then it's fine. So this petition is withdrawn and we're gonna move on to 2124 North 11th Street.
Yes.
All right, Ms. Brown, and the last four digits of the docket are SE61.
Yes, the period in question is, I have March 14th, 2019 until September the 17th, 2024. The principal amount, $38,817.62. Penalty amount, $6,529.21. Lien amount, $745.15, bringing the total disputed amount to $46,091.98.
Okay, Ms. Scattergood?
Board's indulgence for just one moment. I was sending over those judgments to Ms. Andre.
Thank you.
This is North 11th Street. As a preliminary matter, the city has to make the nunc-pro-tunc argument again. We'd be remiss if we didn't, because Mr. Frempong and his wife, who's the actual property owner of record from what we can see, are familiar enough with the process for filing tax review board appeals to know that the 60-day window is statutorily required. So anything prior to, what would that be? The summer of 2024 should be denied as out of time.
We understand.
Right, okay. Just wanted to, I'd be remiss if I didn't
Noted.
put that on the record.
Noted for
Okay.
the record.
There is also a pending petition for sheriff's sale for this property due to outstanding real estate tax debts. And that petition for sale does attach, it does mention outstanding water and sewer debts, even if the petition itself does not seek sheriff's sale for the purpose of satisfying water liens.
Okay, well, that's not here nor there.
I'll get to this. Yeah, I'm glad you said that.
Okay. Okay. Nothing further by way of introduction from the city.
Okay. Mr. Frempong, what would you like to tell us about this property? And what kind of property is this, just to start?
2020, it's a residential property, if that's what your question is.
It's what?
It's a residential property, if your question, I don't understand your question.
What kind of property is this? Is it a house, business?
Oh, it's a house, 3-bedroom house.
Okay, is it a row home?
Yes,
Okay, with tenants?
yes.
Okay, all right, so we're talking about the period from March of 2019 to October of 2024. What would you like to tell us about this matter?
If I may,
Mm-hmm.
I will amend it to March 22. What my concern in this, and I didn't even go to the department board, my concern is that if you check the records, one point, let me check a few. In October 18, 2022, the standard bill was 18,928.36. At that point, I've been going to water department. I've written them 3 times. One of them was certified letter, and the record will reflect that. To resolve that, there might be a problem, and that is the main reason that I appeal. And if I may, let me explain to you what this is about. October 2018, the bill was running at 104 monthly, 104. Then in October 2022, there was a standard bill of 18,928. I went there and then they told me, I discussed it with them and then it dropped. It dropped to 1,056 to 1,500 in 2023. And then all of a sudden in 2024, I also complained bitterly. I told them to shut the property because nobody was there, to shut the weather down for 1 month and let's see what is going on. You know what? I went there October of this year. The billing from 18,000, it drops to $89.45. March 2024, May 2024, $99.22. And then June 2024, $118.74. And then let me give you the last month of this year. In November 2024, it was $55 a month. In December, it was $44 a month. And this year, January, it was $44.51 a month. So there's something wrong going on there. And I want the water department to explain to me the $18,000 bill and also the 1,500 bills that the 2022 was running. The city mentioned that I have filed this out of time. That's not correct. Within that period of time, 2023 to this, I've been fighting the city. I've been going there, writing them, and the record reflect that I've sent them a series of letters. So I was trying to resolve this. My main concern is not challenging the bill. My main concern is why is a bill that was 104 going to 18,000 and then coming down to 1,500. That is my main concern.
Okay, so let's go back to the city. And Ms. Scattergood, can you talk about, I guess, starting in October of 22 through February of 24 is where the usage is exceptional?
Thank you.
Ms. Brown,
Exceptional, not in a good way.
yeah, I
Yes.
got that. Can you describe the usage, the reading history on this account, and
Yes,
to what extent?
the water department came out to change the ERT on September the 23rd of 2022, and prior to that, there was estimate usage reads. So that $18,000 bill, that it reflects 42 months of estimate usage periods. And they did imply that the implied average was high, because if you can see after the equipment was changed, the usage was extremely high for a period of time, and then it was high for almost a year, and then it went back to normal reads.
So let's back up for just a second. For the record, when you discuss the rebill for covering estimated readings, just for the record, what exactly is the rebill? Like, what is the rebill generally?
So when the water department changed the equipment, they were able to obtain an actual reading, because prior to that was estimate read. So they obtained a reading of 2,858 cubic feet. And that's what they're stating, that the property was not rebuilt during the 42 months of estimate usage. So that's what's generated the $18,000 bill.
Okay, so the rebill is based on the actual usage that's been read from the front of the meter itself. Even though the transmitter was not properly sending the data on a monthly basis to the water department, correct?
That is correct.
Okay. So, okay. And then after that, were the readings actual following the ERT change?
Yes.
Okay.
And could you tell us the payment history on this account for the time period?
The last payment we received was in August the 16th of 2022 in the amount of $2,529.22.
And have there been 15-year write-offs on this account?
I'll check one moment.
Mr. Frempong, did you
No.
plumber ever? No?
No, there's not. I don't see any.
Did you ever have a plumber in this property?
Your question,
Mr.
please.
Frempong, did you ever have a plumber in this property?
Yes.
When was that?
They told, I got a high reading, I got a plumber, and he said that there was nothing wrong. I think that there might be a problem. He said that they reset it. Even considering the
I'm
sorry.
Go ahead. Do you have something from the plumber, any documentation?
unfortunately, he's called Mr. James. He passed away, and I don't have anything in writing at that point. He was working with us, and I called him, and then he came and checked everything, and he said that he doesn't see anything wrong with the property. That's all he told me. It was casual.
All right, Ms.
But the
Gatto.
important thing is that if they say that they reset it, and then now, if they say that they reset it for the past 4 months, or even the year since April 2024 up to this time, it hasn't reached anything like $200 a month. What miracle has happened to change that?
Well, it's your property. You tell
Oh,
us.
it's my property. I've checked into that, and I don't understand what is going on. He's telling me that they put in a new system there. After the new system, that's what we are reading. Because for almost 1 year, it's gone back to the normal 104 period to 99, 88, 108, and all that. There hasn't been anything more than $200.
Okay.
And that's my concern.
Ms. Scattergood?
So just so I understand, so I know that
May I ask a question before, please? I want to ask him, does he have a letter from me complaining about this on the record?
Ms. Brown, does the system show any written correspondence from the water customer during the period in question?
We showed that there were calls regarding account statements. Excuse me, he requested account balances. And that's all that I see.
I sent a letter, registered letter to you guys, and during that in March, February and March, I was
Of what
on you
year?
guys.
Of what year, Mr. Frempong?
2024.
Of 2024. This okay.
And do you have a copy of whatever it is you sent?
When I was coming, I left it. I will be able to provide it to you guys later on. I'm sorry, but I thought that his record will reflect that, so I didn't bother to go back and check. But there was constant concern that I expressed. And within that time, he's saying that I did it 3 months and all that. I was in touch. You have to go through the water system before you come to this place. So I was pursuing that route first. And that's what
Okay.
I was doing.
Okay.
All right. Anything else, Ms. Scattergood?
The system shows whatever correspondence the city would have received from the water customer about this bill. And to the extent that Mr. Frempong was expressing concern about the functionality of the water meter, the system does not reflect those communications. So I
And
think we'd
after-
request some kind of negative inference absent the proof that he intends to provide of those written correspondences.
Okay.
I do have one question.
Go
Have
ahead.
there been any payments on this account?
Yeah, I think she mentioned,
Brown?
she answered that question already.
The
I'm
last
sorry.
payment that was made was August the 16th of 2022.
Thank you.
And during the period in question, earlier than that, like from 18 to 23?
Okay, I'll check
I know you
now.
said 2022, but anything 18 or 19?
No.
Okay. Any other questions from board members? No. All right, Mr. Frempong, can you tell me in 2022 and 2023 how many tenants were in this property?
Just one family.
One family.
Just one family, a husband and 2 kids.
Okay.
And that area, even if you check the water in that area, there's not any bill like that.
Ms. Scattergood, any closing remarks?
The Mr. Frempong had notice of the high bills during the disputed period and understands the process for requesting meter shop visits if he had concerns about leaks in the property. So to the extent that he decided not to pursue those routes, it's the city's position that he is conceding that he's presuming the bills to be correct during that period. So we'd request that the petition be denied.
If I may, what she's talking about, I received a letter of that, and because I received the letter, that's why I was active in that. And if I can indulge your patience, I will ask that I be given a chance to get a letter that I forgot to bring because I was in a rush. Because I sincerely believe that I should be given this amount is outrageous, and I should be given the chance to prove otherwise.
All right, so the board's, well, I hear you, and the board's going to step back now for a discussion. Everybody stay tight, stay where you are.
Give me a second, John threw me off a little. His new thing. Okay, great.
Can the attorney hear me, the city attorney? Hello, can you hear
Sure.
me?
Yes, sir.
Do you want my email so that you can send me
The judgments
yeah,
from the prior case.
right.
Sure. Yes, I'll take it now when you have
Okay.
a moment. I'll
All
take it
right,
now. I'm
thank you.
ready.
Thank you. A,
Uh-huh.
F as in Frank, A as in Apple, S as in Sam,
Uh-huh.
09H.
H as in
No,
Hank.
8 numbers.
Oh, 8, the
098,
number 8. 098. Got it.
at yahoo.com, please.
All right. All right. I'll send those right over.
Thank you.
Mhm. Alternatively, Mr. Frempong, I did email them to Melissa Andre. So on your way out, you can ask her to just forward the email to you. If you want. But
You sent it to Andrea?
I sent it to Ms. Andre, so you can
Okay.
be in touch with her.
All right, no problem.
Okay.
Okay, Tax Review Board is back in session. We did discuss the information, talked about the arguments. Mr. Frempong, we are going to take this under advisement and leave the record open for you to submit whatever documents you have regarding this property. plumbing bills, usage, tenants, whatever it is you want to send us. We're going to give you 2 weeks.
No,
Send it
the 28th, February 28th, the end of the month.
28th to Ms. Andre, and we will take them into account along with the information today. Ms. Scattergood, the same, of course, holds for you. If
Thank
there are
you
any
very much.
who have not submitted, you have until the 28th to also submit them. After the 28th, the board will meet again, review what we heard today, whatever additional information is provided to us, and then we will make a decision. You'll be notified and have the opportunity to attend a decision, the reading of the decision.
Thank you. I
Okay.
appreciate it very much.
All
That's
right,
all, that's all I asked for.
Under advisement for today, and I think that concludes our docket.
Do we need concurrence?
I don't, not for advisement.
Okay. All right.
Thank you, John. All right, so that concludes the docket for today. Tax Review Board is adjourned. Thank you, everyone, and we will see the board members on Thursday.
I also want to
Thank
say,
you.
I'm going to give Mr. Frimpong this information. That's
The judgments, all the judgment information.
Thank
Right.
you. I
Thank
appreciate
you,
it.
Ms. Andre.
Thank you,
All right, bye, Ms.
Ms.
Frimpong.
Brown.
Thank you.
See you all.
Thank you all.
Take care, everyone.
Here.